Hello, everybody. This is Betsy Wurzel, host of Chatting with Betsy and Passionate World Talk Radio, where we educate, enlighten, and entertain. I want to thank Jeannie White for producing the show and writing the blog. Please read the blog. It's going to have great information about our guests today and their campaign. I also want to thank Lillian Caldwell, CEO of Passionate World Talk Radio, for sending me the press release about my two guests. Folks, pull up a chair. You're going to want to listen to this podcast. Do you have children? Do you have teenagers? Are they having trouble? Are they having difficulty during COVID with their mental health issues? Are they being bullied? Then you're going to want to stay tuned. I am so over the moon and excited to have these two guests on who are doing something. I have Ashleigh Cromer today, who is Executive Director of Be Strong, and I have Christine Ackerson, who is LG Appliance Electronics. Everyone's heard of LG, Director of Sustainability and CSR for LG. Welcome, Ashleigh and Christine, and thank you for coming on, Chatting with Betsy.
Thank you, Betsy.
Thank you so
Excited
much,
to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Betsy. Looking forward to the conversation.
So how did LG connect with Be Strong to have this wonderful campaign of anti-bullying and teaching about happiness and mindfulness and creating, wanting teenagers and children to be strong leaders? Whoever wants to go first, go ahead. I'm really want to hear how you two connected.
Yeah, actually, I would love for Christine to share about her program and what LG has been doing for quite a while, which actually got the attention of Be Strong. So I'd love for Christine to maybe share with us about that, and then I can jump in behind her.
Sure.
Great.
Go ahead, Christine.
Actually. Great. Thank you. Yeah, so about 4 years ago, LG kicked off a corporate social responsibility program called Life's Good Experience Happiness. This is a learnable, science-based platform that we identified 6 sustainable happiness skills with the University of California's Greater Good Science Center. Those skills include gratitude, generosity, purpose, positive outlook, human connection, and mindfulness. And we learned through our research and with the help of Berkeley that practicing these skills can help change your mindset to help feel more content and build resilience, helping people, teens as well as adults, process stress and anxiety that we deal with on a daily basis. So our initiative works with experts in education and social emotional wellness, including nonprofits like Be Strong, to bring our tools and resources and curriculum to schools across the United States. We have in-school programs and after-school programs and student-led programs, which is where Be Strong comes in. And our main objective for our program is to increase youth access to programs that can help teach these sustainable happiness skills and support emotional wellness and well-being, and to increase awareness that these skills can be learned and taught and practiced and really make a difference in kids' lives. So when we learned about Be Strong and their mission with anti-bullying and what their student leaders do, we were so excited to partner with them on programs around mental and emotional wellness and anti-bullying.
I love it. Go ahead, Ashleigh. This just thrills my heart.
Yeah, mine too, Miss Betsy. When Be Strong saw what LG was doing, and they have these amazing partners that are the greatest in programs for schools as well as researchers, as Christine just said, one thing for Be Strong that we work very diligently at is we believe in the wisdom of our elders and the energy of our young people. And if you meet young people where they are and you give them meaningful resources and tools, that is where true sustainable change happens. And we love happiness and love it, and we thirst for it. And I think especially when we look at where we are as a country right now, and when we look at what we have faced as a world with the COVID pandemic, we are thirsting more than ever for meaningful relationships and the need for our own emotional health to be able to face life's challenges, right? And that emotional health is emotional and mental and relational. And when Be Strong was founded back in 2015, we were founded to prevent bullying. We want to prevent social isolation. We want to prevent suicide. And we want to meet young people where they are and bring them meaningful resources. And so when we started to hear throughout the community what LG was doing, we kept knocking on their door. And we really wanted to work with them. And the reason in being that is, I think sometimes when we think of happiness, Miss Betsy, it's this idea that seems like maybe it's not attainable, right? And what we love about this program is if you truly practice these skills, you have happiness. And that's what motivated us to be resilient and be persistent. And we were very excited to be able to partner with LG Electronics as well as with their social impact, LG Experience Happiness.
I had to tell you, both Christine and Ashleigh, this truly fills my heart, and it actually almost brings me to tears, because if we could get young people, children, teenagers, to learn about mindfulness and happiness, then we will have happier, well-adjusted adults, and they could change the world. This is so, I get to where I can't talk because it's just so exciting to me. Now, how does a child or a teenager get in touch with your organization to be part of it? Do you go into schools?
Yeah, so Be Strong moves a little different, right? So what we have found is that we know more than ever that our school staff they have so much on their plate. They have become not only teachers and educators and parents and grandparents and food providers, housing providers. They have so much on them that Be Strong said, is there the opportunity and the possibility to versus doing a top-down, a bottom-up approach? And so when we launched our Be Strong Student State Representative program, we launched it about 3.5 years ago. And it was this idea of, were there young people that would stand up for others, that would exhibit kindness, interested in becoming resilient and working within a space of mental health? And we can happily report that the program has really grown, and it had tremendous growth in 2020. We currently have over 3,100 student leaders that represent the United States, and part of the meaningful aspect of our partnership with LG and LG Experience Happiness is they have come behind us to support us in identifying, training, and mobilizing more of these leaders. And we have an aggressive goal for 2021 to finish the year with over 6,000 representatives representing all 50 states. And the way that students join our program is come to our website, which is bestrong.global, and you can nominate a student. And so students need to be nominated by an adult, and that can be a parent, a guardian, an educator. One of my favorite nominators under the sun are support school staff that see students and have a different currency of relationship with students. So, I love it when we get a nomination from the security guard at school, right, that nominates a student, that witnesses them in a different lens and believes that, they're thirsting and have an appetite to change the culture of their school. And so it's pretty simple to be able to nominate, and then the students go through an interview process to make sure that they are a student that is prepared to tackle what it looks like to create culture change in their own environment. And then through that interview process, they work hand in hand with our programming team. They have monthly meetings. They have weekly meetings. They have monthly training. They continue their resiliency training as well as recruiting their fellow students to be about the change there at their school campuses. And for students that are not in school, right, so we have different types of environments happening specifically after COVID. The students are still mobilized digitally, so regardless of what environment or community looks like, we mobilize them.
Yeah, and if I can just
awesome.
add on, Betsy.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, for the access to the broader LG Experience platform, in addition to joining Be Strong and getting access to resources through Be Strong, the broader Experience Happiness platform is in over 40,000 schools across the U.S. So we work with Discovery Education, we work with Inner Explorer. Those organizations actually bring the happiness skills and how to learn those skills into the school environment. And so, parents can reach out to their schools and understand if the school is currently using or has access to those resources. And if not, we're happy to help make some connections as well. And just to kind of add on to what Ashleigh said, we've also been able to really pivot this year in the wake of COVID to adapt a lot of our programs digitally to remote learning environments. So we're still reaching students, even if they are not in physical school settings, through, remote learning environments at home.
That just is mind-blowing happiness to me. I mean, that really, if I had a child who was school age, after I heard this podcast, I would be jumping on my computer or smartphone and contacting your program. Without a doubt, I would be contacting. I wish they had something like this when my son was going to school. He's 36. He was bullied. And, of course, back in the Stone Age when I was growing up, they didn't have cell phones, and this would have helped. It takes a lot for a student to stand up against the others who are bullying, to be a leader. And I worked in a preschool, and I would tell the children, when you get older, remember Miss Betsy's words, it takes a stronger person to stand up for what's right. When everyone else around you is doing wrong, you do the right thing. Be a leader. And everyone is capable of being a leader and doing the right thing and standing up to bullying and to want to change their own mindset, because happiness begins with yourself. And
that's right.
Even adults can follow your happiness, because there's a lot of adults that need that,
Yeah, that was the one thing I was going to add, where, the LGExperienceHappiness.com, if you go there, regardless of your age, you will find vital resources. And I think that that's one of the things that I so appreciate about this program is, being an organization that's on the ground with families, a lot of the challenges that we face is a disconnect and miscommunication between parent and guardian and child, right? So when you think about social emotional learning and mental health, we have become more and more progressive as a society to talk about these things. But what I love about LGExperienceHappiness.com is that regardless of your age and what your experiences are, you can find meaningful resources. And I am the same age as your son, Miss Betsy, and I will tell you that these resources on LGExperienceHappiness.com, they help me as well. So I encourage whoever is listening, as well as you guys as a family, to go and look at the resources that are there.
And they're excellent. I went on. Very, very motivational, very inspiring. I want to tell all my listeners, check it out, because what do we need now? We need kindness and happiness. And I really would like to go on a megaphone and just shout out to the world. Just stop the hate. Go on your website and learn to be happy people of all ages, and just, I'm grew up in the 60s and 70s, just love one another. So that's my culture that I grew up in.
Is it science?
Yeah, I was just
right?
going to mention.
Go
ahead,
Christine.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was just going to mention, one of the things when we identified this program, we really researched for almost a year what was the cause that we wanted to support as a company. And, there's a lot of great ways that companies can impact society and give back, whether it's through STEM programs or helping the hungry or poverty reduction measures. So there's so many great causes. But we really wanted to be in a space where there hadn't been a need met quite as forcefully as some of the other causes. And so in our research, we identified that excuse me, teenagers are one of the most stressed out groups in the country. And when school's in session, they're even more stressed out. And as you mentioned earlier, Betsy, this is a really alarming statistic because stressed out students tend to do poorly in school, which can reduce their options for, happiness and success later in life. But what we also learned in our research is that over 70 years of scientific research from really leading academic institutions around the world have shown that happier people are healthier, they live longer, they earn more money, and they do better in school and life. And importantly, the research also showed that these happiness skills can be learned and taught and practiced. And so that's where a lot of the resources, or all of the resources that you'll see on lgexperiencehappiness.com are really rooted in scientific credibility and authenticity, because we really wanted this program to be a program that people could utilize these tips and skills based on the best research and academic institutions and emotional wellness experts, and really take these home and utilize these not only for themselves and their families, but in their communities.
That's so inspiring, Christine. I just love what LG is doing with the happiness, and I love what you're doing, Ashleigh, with the Be Strong. I'm so glad you both companies got together and working together to create this beautiful environment which we so need. As folks know, and this is an understatement, we're in a mental health crisis globally, huge. And we need to do something, and we need to help our young children and teenagers and people of all ages that are crying out for help. And we need to address mental health issues. And back when I was growing up, it was hidden. You didn't talk about it.
Sure.
And I'm so glad. It really thrills my heart. I'm very passionate about this, that children are getting help now. Teenagers are getting help. And to learn this mindfulness, in science it is proven. They say that you need to change your thought process. You need to, you are what you think you are, right? If you think negative, you're going to be negative. If you think positive, you'll be positive. And there's ways to be positive. And it just thrills me what you both are doing. Sometimes I'm just at a loss of words because it just catches my breath. And on Chatting with Betsy, I talk about social issues and I raise awareness, and parents, I always encourage parents, don't shut off that communication. Get them involved with these programs. Nominate. Take it to your school district. Here's an idea. Maybe you two could, join in. Can parents go to their school district and present the program, the website, and how they can get involved?
Absolutely. Yep, they sure can. There's a number of organizations that we work with that work directly with school districts and schools, and so there's absolutely resources out there for parents to bring to their local schools.
But I'll tell you, schools are so receptive when a parent or a guardian comes with something positive. And that's what I love about the LG Experience Happiness cohort of the other amazing organizations that work directly with schools. And what it allows is when a parent comes into the main office and asks to speak to an administrator and has a program that they think would benefit, and they're coming from a place of positivity, our school leadership needs that. And the most influential people to our schools are the parents, right, and the guardians. So I encourage you and implore you, parents that are listening and guardians that are listening, going to lgexperiencehappiness.com, finding what those resources are, and be armed to go into your child's school or call your child's school. As Christine shared, that many of the programs, all of the programs are available virtually as well. And I don't think there is a greater time, as well as, when we have the attention of young people, to lean in right now for them to be able to be informed. And the coolest part to me is that it's tangible steps. The issues that Be Strong has been called to work within are heavy, and they're weighted, and they're emotional, and very real. And why we are so energetic about what LG is doing within Experience Happiness is it's tangible steps and digestible steps to be able to take. And what I also love is it removes this idea of happiness as a word and gives you a roadmap of how to get there.
I love it. As parents, if there's a parent, guardian, teacher, principal listening to this show, you need to read the blog. You need the information to present it to your school district and start it in your school. If I was a teacher in a school district, I definitely would be presenting this. Or if I had a child that was school age, I definitely would be contacting my Board of Education and presenting it. I want to thank you, Ashleigh, for coming on, and Christine Ackerson of LG, Ashleigh Cromer of Be Strong. God bless you, ladies, and what you're doing for the youth of America. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing this and for coming on my show so we can promote mental health, well-being for children and people of all ages. But we start when we're young, and this is a passion of mine. We need to take care of our children's mental health needs. And people, when I was growing up, you didn't talk about how you felt, and you just had to suck it up. Well, times have changed, and there's different methods of thinking in different ways, and how I wish they had this when I was younger. But they have it now, and I suggest everyone to go on and learn about it and to help our youth, because the youth is the future. So thank you both for coming on. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you would like to add, Ashleigh and Christine?
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Betsy, for having us. And I would just, something I want to share, Be Strong was able, because of the generosity of LG Electronics, to gift over 100 laptops to our student leaders who were struggling to be able to stay connected, were struggling to be able to do their schoolwork, struggling to be able to do their leadership work with Be Strong. And I reached out to LG and I asked them for 10 laptops, and they made every single person cry at Be Strong because they gifted us with 100. And then on top of that, they celebrated 6 of our families, which I encourage the audience to go and watch the stories of our families that represent these 6 skills, and the way that they celebrated them and showed gratitude to them. And I will get emotional here, is they did an appliance upgrade for 6 of our families, which, there was one particular mother and family that inspired that, Miss Anitra Woods. And she's a single mom with 6 kids. She's a foster mother. She lost her spouse earlier in the year. And what we watched this woman do of living out these 6 skills, she truly inspired the whole project. And I went to Christine and her team and shared about this family and shared about our other families. And we were just blown away and continue to be blown away by, one, the commitment to making a meaningful difference in the lives of everyday people that LG has shown through our new relationship with them, let alone all of the millions of young people and families that they've helped. But I am overjoyed with the experiences and the opportunity to celebrate these families that would not have been possible without LG and Christine and her team. And but what's beautiful is those stories that have come from the families, and those 100 families, where they started to come back, and they're like, do we have to return the laptop? He's like, no, this is a token of gratitude for the hard work that you do. So Be Strong is so, so grateful for this relationship, and ultimately we're grateful to bring these meaningful resources and these 6 sustainable happiness skills that have been based in 70 years of science to millions of young people across the country. And it was an honor to meet you, Ms. Betsy, and spend some time with you this morning.
Oh, thank you. I am honored. Go ahead, Christine.
Yeah, thank you so much, Betsy, and Ashleigh and Be Strong. They're such great partners. I just want to quickly end on, I just want to stress that, learning and practicing these skills can be really simple. I don't want people to be overwhelmed by, all the information that may be out there. One of the very cool things we did around the holiday season with Be Strong was to create a hashtag Give Happiness gift card and downloadable simple skills you can do every day for 7 days to help practice these skills. So super accessible, bite-sized pieces, like Ashleigh said, that are available free online at lgexperiencehappiness.com, hashtag Give Happiness. So again, just, these can be simple. They don't take a lot of time. And when they're practiced, they really can make a difference in people's lives. And I know Ashleigh and I were talking. We've both been practicing them, and my whole team has been practicing them more than ever the last few months to really sort of just, cope with everything that's going on in the world right now. So thank you so much for having us on and highlighting what we're doing. It's such important work, and we're so proud to be working with Be Strong and our other partners, and honored that you had us on today.
Well, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. Believe me, it's my pleasure and honor to help others. That's my mission in life. I'm going to get emotional. Folks, if you missed any of this podcast, you can get it again. You can hear it again wherever you hear your favorite podcast. One of them is Amazon.com, Amazon Music. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be interviewing Ashleigh Cromer with one of the student leaders. And you're going to want to hear what Joshua has to say. And you subscribe so you don't miss that podcast. I'm looking forward to podcasts. I'm looking forward, Ashleigh, to speaking to you and Joshua. And it was so cool because my son's name is Joshua. So that was kind of coincidence. Oh, Joshua, yes, I have a Josh. So I want to encourage everyone to check out LG and Be Strong. And I just want to add that Be Strong is a nonprofit organization, and I think it's wonderful what LG is doing. There might be other companies doing something like this, but kudos to LG, kudos to Be Strong. Let's work together. We're all human beings, and we need to be kind to each other and work together to have peace in this world. And that's what I have to say, but I am a product of the 60s and 70s, so that's what our philosophy was back then. And I think it's a good philosophy. Just love one up on one another, because we all bleed red blood. There's no difference. And just be kind. This is Betsy Wurzel, host of Chatting with Betsy and Passionate World Talk Radio. Thank you for listening. And until we chat again, be kind. Bye, everybody.